A man is dead, murdered while he was changing his tire. It happened at a Valero at Richmond and OC. Andrea Watkins is live right now at the scene collecting information. Andrea, what do we have?
Well, Sabila, it is a sad scene out here. The victim is still covered with a sheet. The police are still marking evidence in the scene, and we are waiting for the detectives to get here as well. Now, what we know is a young man was murdered here while simply changing his tire at the Valero station on Richmond. This is between Gessner and Fondren at 5:30 this morning. No one knows if this was an attempted robbery or what the possible motive was. Now, during my last report, there was a disturbance here, and what happened was someone close to the victim, and she told me she was his girlfriend. She arrived and tried to cross crime scene tape. They were stopped by police. There was a lot of shouting, and she was pulled back. And we do know that police are very protective of the crime scene. They do even keep family away from the victim to preserve the evidence, and that can make it very, very hard on the people who are close to the victim. Now, that woman came up to me just a minute ago. She wanted to know what facts we had about this murder, and I told her what I knew, and she didn't know any more than that. She said she didn't know why anyone would shoot her boyfriend. But we've also been talking about possible eyewitnesses. We don't have any confirmation of that. We do see that there are surveillance cameras here, but from the one surveillance camera that we can see from our vantage point, it doesn't even look like it's pointed in the direction of where this victim was shot. So still waiting for more evidence, but that's what we know at the scene right now. Live in Southwest Houston, Andrea Watkins, Fox 26 News.
Houston police want to know who killed a young Houston man changing a tire at a gas station on Richmond Avenue early this morning. It happened at about 5:30 at Richmond and OC in Southwest Houston. Detectives say 21-year-old Jonathan Johnson was murdered in connection with an overnight dispute at the Bourbon Street Sports Bar across the street. Witnesses told police there was at least one shot fired into the ceiling of the bar between 4 and 5 a.m. According to witnesses, Johnson was involved in the disturbance but was not the one who fired the shot. Then as Johnson left the club, he hit a curb and blew his tire.
While changing the front right tire, the disturbance, it appears, followed him to this parking lot, and where multiple shots were fired, and he was struck at least twice in the back and died from his wounds.
Detectives say there were several witnesses to the shootings, both inside the club and at the gas station, but they have not yet identified who fired the fatal shots.
Police say a disturbance at a nightclub led to a deadly shooting in Southwest Houston early this morning. A 21-year-old man was killed. Eyewitness News reporter Elisa Rivas is live now with the latest. Elisa?
Good morning. Detectives were here at this Valero gas station all morning trying to piece together what happened before 21-year-old Jonathan Johnson was shot and killed here. They believe the trouble started next door between 4 and 5 o'clock this morning at the Bourbon Street Sports Bar, which police say is a strip club. There was a fight and at least one shot was fired into the ceiling, at which point people scattered. Police believe Johnson hit a curb and damaged his tire as he was driving away and pulled over to the Valero station to change it. Someone pulled up and shot him at least twice in the back.
We have multiple witnesses from all the way from Bourbon Street, where the disturbance originated, to the actual shooting itself. They're being interviewed by other detectives at this time, and so we have some pretty good leads right now.
So they are gathering information. They believe that 2 vehicles left the scene here, so they're getting descriptions on those vehicles as well as the people that may have been involved. Also reviewing surveillance video. Johnson did have a pistol on the front seat of his vehicle, but police do not believe it was fired. Reporting live in Southwest Houston, Elisa Rivas, 13 Eyewitness News.
Morning about between 4 and 5 a.m. at the Bourbon Street Sports Bar. There was a disturbance inside the club where at least one gunshot was fired inside the club into the ceiling. We're recovering that right now, that evidence. After that happened, the complainant here, Jonathan Johnson, who's been identified by his family here on the scene, was in the disturbance, left the club, and upon leaving the club, he struck the curb of the street or the parking lot, blowing his front right tire out. which caused him to pull here at the Valero gas station to change the tire. And while changing the front right tire, the disturbance, it appears, followed him to this parking lot, and where multiple shots were fired, and he was struck at least twice in the back and died from his wounds. We have multiple witnesses all the way from Bourbon Street, where the disturbance originated, to the actual shooting itself. They're being interviewed by other detectives this time, and so we have some pretty good leads right now.